Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Titleless Musings and today I have a very special video. Today is the day that we hit 100 subscribers to the Titleless Musings channel, and I can't even believe I get to say those words. I think you can probably hear me smiling as I say that. I can't believe that this is how it's going, that I've got 100 subscribers. Thank you so much to everyone, whether you are subscribed or not, just everyone who has really, commented, who's watched, who's liked. Just having you guys watch all this stuff really means a lot to me. So I thought I would do a special video about it and talk a little bit more in depth about what I've learned over the year that I've been doing this channel, over the year it's taken to get to 100. I can't believe that. So the kind of catch with today's video, it's another journal with me. I wanted to kind of show you that, I guess to put it plainly, my journal is a space where I keep track of the most important things in my life, and this is very important to me. So instead of just putting something out in the community tab, I thought I would do a real-time journal with me where the only time that you'll see jump cuts are if my OBS has decided to set my laptop aligned. That happened quite a bit, I'm not even gonna lie. My laptop does not work very well with OBS. So those are going to be the only jump cuts. Otherwise, the entire video is fully in real time. You are getting to see some of the mistakes that I make. It's more about celebrating than it is about making something perfect. So it also allows me to be a bit chattier, and I thought I would kind of use that to talk a little bit about what I've learned on YouTube as we've climbed to 100. So first of all, I do want to say a huge thank you. I always feel weird saying things like this because I know that I personally have watched a lot of YouTubers do like thank yous and then it immediately goes into an ad read. I am not being sponsored by anybody. I have no advertisements to read you. I just mean this from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. I started Titleless Musings as a complete side hobby. YouTube isn't always something I've wanted to do or anything like that. It was more kind of an extension of what I already do with my life. I make a lot of journal content. I've done journaling for years and years, for 5 consecutive years, but I've also done it kind of inconsistently for quite a while. I've always made journal content. I've bought CDs, I've unboxed things, but I've never kind of shown it to anybody. So Titleless Musings really just started as a place for me to do what I was already doing, just in front of a camera. That's why 100 subscribers feels just so unreal to me and so special. I didn't really come into this with a lot of high hopes, I guess, for lack of a better word. I really came in with low expectations. It wasn't so much about reaching anything big, it was more about sharing content that I was already making, but maybe in a way that other people could, take something from. And every time I put out a video and I see the likes come in and the comments, I mean, you guys are so thoughtful with your comments. We've had some really good conversations in the comments. You guys will raise points that I didn't necessarily raise. I've gotten a lot of people thanking me for being so honest, and it's more me. I should be thanking you. I mean, I know that sometimes my opinions aren't necessarily the most popular, particularly when I do some of the K-pop unboxings. I do have a little bit of a fear of hurting people's feelings, I guess, a little bit if I negatively review something. But I don't want to be a channel you just come to when you, like, I'm not going to promote and hype in just so that you can like them, if that makes sense. I'm promoting the things that I like, but I'm also a real person doing this, and, particularly with the unboxings, I understand the cost of the cost. I understand the value of money, and, I want my channel to be a place where you can come when you're looking for honesty and honest reviews. Even with the journaling, when I set out to create this channel, the journaling thing was really important to me, being honest. I've watched a lot of journal YouTubers, and they create some of the most beautiful things you've ever seen. And I often felt really discouraged watching those kinds of videos, not because the creators, there's not anything wrong with the creators, they're fantastic artists and they do brilliant works in their journals, but I always kind of got into that hole of feeling like my journal just wasn't enough. And yeah, I had a lot of problems where I felt like I couldn't find a YouTuber that was my style, that kind of just blatantly laid it out. And that's what I set out to be as Titleless Musings. I don't ever want my videos to kind of come across as staged, I guess, for lack of a better word. I don't, there's no point in me sugarcoating things. I talked about like the unboxings. If I sugarcoat it and you buy it and you hate it, you're gonna be like, wait a second, but Titleless said this was great. So, you know, I really pride myself on honesty, and 100 subscribers, I can't say thank you enough. Again, I know that, especially on social media, a lot of times gratitude feels very shallow because there's always ad reads, there's always something to be gained. I don't make any money off of this channel. I don't have a Patreon. I don't run anything on the side. This is literally just something I do for fun. And, you know, I don't have anything to sell you. I'm really, truly grateful. And the fact that we did it in a year, I can't believe it. 100 in a year. So yeah, thank you from the bottom of my heart for the support, the likes, the comments. It's so special to me. And, you know, this journal spread isn't much, but it was a journal spread that I was going to make anyways because this is a really important milestone for me. But I wouldn't be Titleless Musings without you, so I wanted to share it with you and kind of show you what I made. I thought something that would be cool in this video, especially since this is a 23-minute video, I thought it would be cool to kind of talk honestly about things that I've learned as a creator in the space for the last year that we've been gaining the subscribers. And maybe just some things that either you didn't think about, or if you're not a content creator, maybe you don't know. I guess I'll first start with some of my struggles. One of the biggest things that I struggled with this channel, particularly when I started setting out, was trying to both be individual and also work an algorithm. One of the things that I really pride my channel on is my thumbnails. I make those myself. I literally use my phone's camera to try and get an artsy pic, you know, trying to get an aesthetic picture, and then I have like my logo and a little text graph that's the title of the video. And I worried a little bit about that when I started because it's not a very aesthetic thumbnail. I wasn't going for aesthetics with the thumbnail. I should put that out there. It wasn't like I was trying to create the most aesthetic thumbnail. I wanted something that differentiated my channel, not just from the perspective of kind of doing your own thing. I think part of being a content creator means you bring something new to a space, but I also I thought that a lot of videos that use artistic or aesthetic thumbnails, while they're beautiful, there's also a lot of them, and it's so difficult. One of the things that I guess I just never really considered is you do have to work the algorithm a little bit, but you should always still be yourself. I think it kind of goes back to the honesty thing. I don't ever want my channel to come across as I'm anybody else. You know, there are a lot of YouTubers I take inspiration from, a lot of big journal creators that I've watched for years and years, but I don't want to just be a carbon copy of somebody else, because those people are brilliant because they're themselves. So that was one of the biggest things that I struggled with, was trying to distinguish myself as an individual channel, but also you do have to play the algorithm a little bit, especially early on. One of the things that I learned that really I think helped me out was the shorts feature. I never planned on becoming a shorts creator, and I'm not really a shorts creator. I feel like saying shorts creator is kind of not the word that I mean to use for myself, but shorts have really helped me expand my audience, and it's been a good way for me to kind of play the algorithm but still remain individual, because I'm not posting anything special for the shorts. I'm just literally posting clips from my videos. but it's kind of a way to get the algorithm. And I keep bringing up the algorithm because I think when you hear content creators talk about the algorithm, I think sometimes it can be very misleading. Um, One of the biggest things that I think that misled me about the whole algorithm thing was, oh well, you're never going to game the system basically unless you hit 1,000 subscribers or you hit this many likes or you have a hit that goes viral. I think my most watched video is close to 2,000 views now, which is huge numbers. But I think that the algorithm is one thing, but I think it's also who you are that really helps determine that. And I think when you have something new to bring to the table, that's what boosts you. Another thing that I kind of I have definitely had to learn is time. How time consuming this all is. I've always edited videos. I'm not gonna lie, like ever since I was in like middle school, I have just done like little silly, iMovie edits. So I wasn't necessarily coming into this with no experience. I also I use Final Cut to edit, so I have quite a good editing software that a lot of people I know don't necessarily have. So I did have a lot of kind of bonuses and benefits of that. Um, but you learn how much time things take. I can definitely see why people get editors. Um, I think if I'm counting correctly, usually my videos are about an hour to 2 hours of raw footage. Now, that does also consist of me like getting up to get a drink, getting up to get a snack, switching out markers, that kind of thing. But raw footage usually is about 2 hours, and then I will edit over multiple days. It doesn't take me very long to edit a video down because I'm not doing anything special with filters. I'm not like putting memes in. It's very basic, kind of my process, but I try to keep it basic because I'm not trying to kind of blow anything up out of proportion. One of the things I talk a lot about in my video is color grading. I don't add any kind of color filters because I want you to see the spread actually as it is instead of, or not even the spreads, just anything that I'm doing. I want you to see it how it is as opposed to, a rich color filter. That took a long time to learn to edit properly. You'll see in a lot of my older videos, the blues of the desk mat were super blown out. So that was definitely one of those things that I had to learn. I think I've also really enjoyed the activities, I guess, that you get to do as a content creator in terms of things like comments and likes. I hadn't really considered that before because, if I'm being completely honest, I didn't think my channel was going to go very far. And that's not me being like, oh, I'm so negative. I mean that just from the perspective of I didn't even think I'd be able to keep up with it. I thought it was going to be one of those things where I do it for 6 months, not many people watch it, and I kind of just disappear and ride off into the sunset kind of thing. But not only have I kind of impressed myself, if I'm being honest, sticking with it for as long as I have, but you really kind of become attached to the comments. I mean, there's so many users now who I see over and over and over again in my comment section that you're like, oh my gosh, I hope they watch this video because I know that they would have something to say on this, and I'm like interested in hearing kind of their take or their opinions. I don't always reply to comments right away. That is not because I'm like, oh, I'm going to ignore your comments. It is strictly because I am actually not there. I will see the YouTube comment over email, but I'll only log into my YouTube studio once every week or two. And usually at that point I mass schedule a bunch of uploads and I'll mass reply to a bunch of comments. So if you're ever like, wow, I commented this 2 weeks ago and Titleless hasn't replied, that is not me trying to ignore you. That is just literally me not being online. So, but yeah, I really live for those now. I mean, it's not, I don't know, it's not from the perspective so much of, oh, I want more interactions, but it's more from the perspective of, like I said, we've had some great conversations and you guys have really been able to offer perspectives that maybe I haven't kind of considered, or on some of these videos you've even kind of made it better with the way that you agree. Like I said, I did a unboxing of an Unhypen thing a couple weeks ago, and it was a tour DVD, and it was my first negative review of an Unhypen product, and I was very nervous about putting that out because I know how defensive we can all be about our hobbies. I'm defensive about my hobbies. I will not stand for anything bad said about J Park. But, I think that I just wanted to be a place where you could come for an honest review. And so to then see comments back where people were either saying, I got a couple comments saying that I'd like saved them the money on this, or that they agreed and were disappointed no one else was talking about it. Those kinds of comments really do matter, and particularly for smaller content creators, your voice is so valued to us. And I guess I can only talk for myself, but you truly you can't understand how it is until you're in the shoes of a content creator, I guess. It's so special to see you guys engaging and to get comments or compliments or just anything like that. Just having that interaction really spurs the channel on. It keeps me going, for one. Because I know you guys are watching. I know that I've got people that are commenting about how excited they are every time they see a video of mine, and it makes me want to keep filming and keep going. So again, all of that is not on me as a content creator. That is all on you as viewers, and it means more than you could ever know, and I'm very grateful. So thank you for the year. Thank you for the 100 subscribers. Thank you for all of the comments, the long paragraph comments. I love reading long comments and replying. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I thought the last thing I would touch on in this video is kind of my future plans. What is the future of the channel? Where do I want to keep going and growing? I am here for as long as it takes me. I don't want to put a year on things or say, oh, I'm only doing this for X amount of time. I don't plan on leaving anytime within the next couple years, if that makes sense. I plan on literally filming and posting until life gets too busy and I can't. So I don't really have any kind of numerical goals set for the channel, because that's not the way I think. My enjoyment of the channel, my engagement with you guys, that is not based on numbers. There could be 100 of you, there could be one of you. To me, that doesn't determine success. It also doesn't determine, like I said, how much I enjoy interacting with everybody, and how much I appreciate everyone. So I don't have numeric goals. I do want to branch my content out a little bit. One of the things, I've never talked about this before, I'm a huge Sims 4 player. I have something close to 3,000 hours clocked on the EA app. And I really want to do like a Sim series. I know that sounds like completely random. It's kind of coming out of nowhere from somebody who unboxes and does journal videos. I don't necessarily want to start like a gaming channel. I am not interested in that. When I made this channel, it was for everything that my life encompasses that I wanted to share with you guys. The problem is, and the reason why I'm like, I would like to do this, but I can't, I have a laptop. I play Sims on a laptop. It is one of the, I have to stack my laptop on top of washi tape to get the fan to work. So there is no way I can run The Sims 4 and film at the same time. But it is a goal of mine to save up enough money to get a PC and literally have that just be a filming PC. I'm gonna like move all my editing files over there, play some Sims. So again, I can't give you a numeric goal on that because obviously that's money. And I've got to save. I'm also, still trying to financially support the channel. So that is something I'd like to do in the future. I don't know when, but I would really like to do that because I get so into my Sim stories. I love my Sims so much. There is so much drama in my game, and I feel like people might find it funny. So yeah, that is a goal for the future, probably 2026, but I'm not going to definitively say 2026. I'm just hoping that that'll be it. In terms of other content, I do have a bunch of ideas. I want to get back to doing the monthly journal with me spreads. I only stopped, I stopped actually at the beginning of the year because the spread that I did was not my own. The spread, I actually followed someone on YouTube and it was like entirely their design. I just really liked it and I wanted it in my journal, so obviously I wasn't going to film that because that wasn't my idea and I didn't want to take that idea from them. That was their idea. So that one I didn't film, and I just honestly haven't gotten back into the habit of doing monthly spreads. I do still do them in my journal, I just haven't filmed them, so hopefully starting in August I will, or starting at the end of July I guess, for August, hopefully at that point I will have gotten back into filming those, because I would like to do those some more. I also do want to continue Musings on Journaling, which is my journal series, my kind of how-to series. I want to make a couple more like episodes, I guess, for it, where I just kind of talk more about, now that it's 5 years on, what are some tips? You know, what have I learned? Where do I struggle? I guess as a journal content creator, a journal person. Where do I fit in? Yeah, I'd like to continue that. I just have run out of ideas for it. If you saw that there, that was me realizing that my blue pen is not blue. So I do get up and go get another blue pen. But yeah, I want to continue kind of where I'm going. I am trying not to miss any weeks. I usually film about 4 weeks of content when I sit down, so 4 videos. The goal is to keep that up. Again, unless literally something happens where I'm like, oh, I'm like sick or I'm not around to do it. My goal is to still stick to the 1 a week plus 1 or 2 shorts a week. But yeah, the content is super important to me. The journal, particularly, that was why I really wanted to start this channel. So that's why I said I wanted to add an update to Musings on Journaling that's kind of focused on like where do I struggle, and maybe can give you guys some kind of guide to, even as somebody who's journaled for 5 years, where kind of is the disconnect for me. But we are now coming to the end of the video. I'm literally digging around over there for my Fudenosuke. I think I'm pronouncing that wrong. I'm so sorry if I butchered that. It's a Tombow pen. It's from Japan. So I do apologize if I butchered that. I should have looked up how to pronounce it, but I've literally just sat down and started voicing over. So yeah, we are now coming to the end of this video. Thank you again so much for 100 subscribers. Whether you are subscribed or not, thank you for watching. Thank you for, you know, leaving likes, for viewing and sharing, and just everything that you guys do to support a smaller creator. Again, I think you never really truly understand how much it means to small content creators. I was someone who started doing this for fun, and to be at a point where I can say that I have 100 people watching me is, there aren't even any words. Thank you so much for 100. I can't believe we're at 100. I'm like watching myself color in the letters there, and I'm like, 100. Yeah, thank you for 100. I will get ready to love and leave you then, since there's only, 26 seconds left in this video. If you did enjoy, please leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to chat in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you thought of the spread. Thank you so much for 100, and I will see you next time.